Good evening, good night, I should say. Nice to see you all. Gamar Chatima Tova, we say during Yom Kippur, may we all be sealed in the book of life. We begin on page 202. Shalom, shalom לרחוק ולקרוב אמר אדוני. Shalom, shalom to those who are far off. Shalom to those who are near, says Adonai. This verse from Isaiah is from the Yom Kippur morning Haftarah. And with this verse, we welcome everyone to our space, to our sacred space, to our sanctuary. And we begin Yom Kippur Eve, also known as Kol Nidrei, all vows, with the candle blessing and the Shehecheyanu on page 199. And for the candle blessing and the Shehecheyanu, I would like to invite Laura Friedman, Mindy Friedman, and Ilana Friedman. We're on page 199.
Shanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halik ner shel Yom HaKippurim. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, who has made us holy through mitzvot, instructed us to light the Yom Kippur candles. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, for granting us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this moment.
Amen. Thank you to the Friedman's family, half of the family. We are so blessed to have with us throughout the days of awe such an incredible, gifted singers and musicians. And especially tonight, we have our incredibly talented cellist, Yael Rubinstein, and our gifted pianist, Druyan. Pray for us, the Kol Nidrei theme. This theme will set the mood for the entire Yom Kippur day. Wow. Thank you. That's the mood I'm talking about. Traditionally, past presidents of a congregation are invited to Torah's procession on Kol Nidrei. Since we are a very young congregation, this is our very first High Holidays services, I'm honored to invite our founding board members to the procession with the Torahs. So founding board members, please come forward. We rise as the ark is open. We are on page 204 with Or Zarua. The light is sown for the righteous and joy for those whose hearts are true. Or Zarua.
Or Zarua LaTzadik ולאיש לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולאיש לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה ולשרי לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה ולשרי לב שמחה לה 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 צדיק ולשרי לב שמחה ולשרי לב שמחה עוז הרוח לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה ולשרי לב שמחה לה 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 ולשרי לב שמחה ולשרי לב שמחה לה 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 לה
Continue in the middle of this page with the traditional words and traditional melody. בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים. By the authority of the court on high and by the authority of this court below, with divine consent and with the consent of this congregation, we grant permission to pray with those who have transgressed. We remain standing as we turn to page 205 for Kol Nidrei, all vows. Kol Nidrei v'sarei v'charamei Vechon Amir, Vechinuyei, Vekinusei, Ushevut, Ushevut. Adin Adana, Udeish Tebana, Udeha Charimna, Veda Asana, Veda Asana, Alanaf Shatana, Biyom Kippurim Ze, Ad Yom Kippurim Abba. לשרירים ולקיימים. לנדרי וסהנה לאסרי ושבועתנה לשבועות. So traditionally, Kol Nidrei is chanted 3 times, and every time, traditionally, we're supposed to do it a half step higher to reach a higher place. So we heard the beautiful praying by the cello and the piano. I chanted it once, and now let's all read it together in the English, top of page 205. All vows, renunciations, bans, oaths, formulas of obligation, pledges, and promises that we vow or promise to ourselves and to God from this Yom Kippur to the next, may it approach us for good, we hereby retract. May they all be undone, repealed, voided, annulled, and regarded as neither valid nor binding. Our vows should not be considered vows. Our renunciations should not be considered renunciations, and our promises shall not be considered promises. ונסלח לכל עדת בני ישראל, ולגר גר בתוכם, כי לכל העם בשגגה. The entire congregation of the people of Israel shall be forgiven, as well as the stranger who dwells among them, for all have heard. וסהלך נא לעוונם הזה כגודל חסדך, וכאשר נסעת לעם הזה ממצרים ועד הנה, ושם נאמר. Moses prayed, as befits your abundant love, please forgive these people's sin, just as you have always forgiven these people from the time of the Exodus from Egypt until now. And there it further says, והיאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך, והיאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך, ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך. Adonai replied, I have forgiven as you have asked. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch Ata Adonai our God, ruler of time and space, for granting us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this moment. And we say, Amen. We remain standing for one more for the Baruch on page 207. Praise Adonai, to whom all prayer is directed. Praise Adonai, to whom all prayer is directed forever and ever. את אדוני המבורך. You may be seated. We read together on page 207, the first blessing before the Shema, the evening light. Please join me. Baruch Ata Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Ata Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. We continue now with our congregation's theme prayer, Ahavat Olam, God's infinite love, on page 208.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת.
אותנו לימדת, אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה.
אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני
אוהב
עמו
ישראל, אוהב עמו
I just want to say that during Yom Kippur Day, you will hear many calls to stand up, sit down. These are all references. Some of us are fasting, so please, your health is more important. If you need to sit, by all means, sit. Just wanted to say that. We rise for the Shema. We turn to page 208. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. Praise be the name of the one whose glorious sovereignty is forever and ever. We chant together the ואהבת. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We continue responsively on page 210. God performs wonders beyond understanding, marvels beyond all reckoning. God exalted us above all those who hated us, avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh, offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. As their pursuing enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people Israel joyfully sang this song to you. Mi chamocha. בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלי, אנו ואמרו. את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We continue on page 212 with the second paragraph. For on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your transgressions. In the presence of Adonai you shall be pure. קדיש. יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה. ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. שמי דקודשה לילה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה We turn to page 213, Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agiti Latecha. This line that prepares us for the Amida on page 213. Please rise. We read together the Avot and Imaot, page 213, with the patriarchs and the matriarchs. Baruch Ata Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, great, mighty, awe-inspiring, transcendent God, who acts with loving kindness and creates all things, who remembers the loving deeds of our ancestors, and who will send the Redeemer to their children's children with love for the sake of divine honor. Next page. Remember us for life, sovereign who delights in life, and inscribe us in the book of life for your sake, God of life. You are the sovereign who helps and guards, saves and shields. Baruch Ata Adonai, shield of Abraham, guardian of Sarah. You are mighty forever, Adonai. You give life to the dead. Great is your saving power. You sustain the living through love, and with great mercy give life to the dead. You support the falling, heal the sick, loosen the chains of the bound, and keep faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, Almighty, and who can compare to you? Sovereign, who brings death and life, and causes salvation to flourish. Who is like you, source of compassion, who remembers with compassion you are faithful in bringing life to the dead. Baruch Ata Adonai, who gives life to the dead. Holy are you, and holy is your name. Holy ones, praise you each day. Please be seated. We continue in the bottom of page 216 with the holiness for Yom Kippur. Together, our God and God of our ancestors, Forgive our sins on this Yom Kippur. Blot out and disregard them. As the prophet Isaiah says in your name, I, surely I, am the one who wipes away sin, for this is my nature. I will not recall your errors. And the prophet adds, I sweep aside your sins like a mist and disperse your transgressions like a cloud. Turn back to me, for I will redeem you. And in your Torah it is written, for on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you for all your transgressions. In the presence of Adonai you shall be pure. And now we continue with Retzeh, the restoration of Zion, in the middle of page 217. We pause now for a few moments for a silent prayer.
הגיעו לרצון עם רפי והגיון לפי לפניה Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri Vegoali May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable unto thee, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer, Adonai Tzuri Vegoali. Amen.
And now we turn to the bottom of page 218 for the vidui, for prayers of confession. Please rise. אלוהינו ולאבותינו, תבוא לפניך תפילתנו, ואל תתעלם מתחינתנו, שאין אנחנו עזי פנים וקשי עורף, לומר לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, צדיקים אנחנו ולא חטאנו, אבל אנחנו חטאנו. איי 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 אשמנו בגדנו גזלנו דיברנו דופי איי 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 הבינו והרשענו זדנו חמסנו טפלנו שקר איי 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 יעצנו רע כיזבנו לחצנו מרדנו ניעצנו שררנו עבינו פשענו צררנו קישינו עורף איי 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 פשענו, שחטנו, תיעבנו, טעינו, תיעדנו, איי 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 We read together in the English. Our God and God of our ancestors, hear our prayer, do not ignore our plea. Our God and God of our ancestors, we are neither so insolent nor so obstinate, and to claim in your presence that we are righteous without sin. For we, like our ancestors who came before us, have sinned. Together with the confession, page 219, we abuse, we betray, we are cruel, we destroy, we embitter, we falsify, we gossip, we hate, we insult, we jeer, we kill, we lie, we mock, we neglect, we oppress, we pervert, we quarrel, we rebel, we steal, we transgress, we are unkind, we are violent, we are wicked, we are extremists, we yearn to do evil, we are zealous for bad causes. We continue together. We have turned from your godly laws and commandments, but it has not profited us. Surely, respect to all that comes upon us. For you have acted faithfully, but we have been in the wrong. What can we say to you who sit on high? And what can we tell you who dwell in heaven? For you know all that is hidden, as well as all that is revealed. You know the mysteries of the universe, the deepest secrets of everyone alive. You probe our innermost depths. You examine our thoughts and feelings. Nothing escapes you. Nothing is secret from you. Therefore, may it be your will, our God and God of our ancestors, to forgive us for all our sins, to pardon us for all our iniquities, and to grant us atonement for all our transgressions. We continue with the longer confession, Al Chet, together. We have sinned against you unwillingly and willingly, and we have sinned against you through hardening our hearts. We have sinned against you, and we have sinned against you in idle chatter. We have sinned against you through sexual immorality, and we have sinned against you openly and in private. We have sinned against you knowingly and deceitfully, and we have sinned against you by the way we talk. We have sinned against you by defrauding others, and we have sinned against you in our innermost thoughts. We have sinned against you through forbidden trysts, and we have sinned against you through empty confession. We have sinned against you by scorning parents and teachers, and we have sinned against you. Next page. We have sinned against you by and we have sinned against you by public discretion of your name. We have sinned against you through foul speech, and we have sinned against you through foolish talk. We have sinned against you through pursuing the impulse to evil, and we have sinned against you willingly and unwittingly. For all these things, forgiving God, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement. We have sinned against you through denial and deceit, and we have sinned against you by taking bribes. We have sinned against you by clever cynicism, and we have sinned against you by speaking ill of others. We have sinned against you by the way we do business, and we have sinned against you in our eating and drinking. We have sinned against you by greed and oppressive interest, and we have sinned against you through arrogance. We have sinned against you in everyday conversation, and we have sinned against you through conspirational glances. We have sinned against you, and we have sinned against you through stubbornness. For all these sins, forgiving God, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement. We have sinned against you by throwing off, and we have sinned against you by rashly judging others. We have sinned against you by plotting against others, and we have sinned against you through selfishness. We have sinned against against you through superficiality, and we have sinned against you through stubbornness. We have sinned against you by rushing to do evil, and we have sinned against you through honor. We have sinned against you through empty promises, and we have sinned against you through baseless hatred. We have sinned against you by betraying trust, and we have sinned against you by succumbing to confusion. For all these sins, forgiving God, pardon us, grant us atonement. Let us consider the wisdom between two parties who argued 2,000 years ago and how the resulting debate influences Jewish thought today. The argument, one of Judaism's most constitutive disputes of the Mishnah, which is the 2nd century work of rabbinic literature, was between Rabbi Hillel the Elder and Rabbi Shammai, and the schools of thought named after them, Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, respectively. Their profound polemic revolved around the value of our humanness and the worth of man's intuition. According to Beit Shammai, man's intuition needs to be subdued in order to be fully adapted to God's will. But according to Beit Hillel, since man is created in God's image, the only way man can fully express God's will is by expressing his existence to his fullest capability. These are two very different responses attempting to figure out what God wants from us. Does God want our intuition subdued, or does God want us to be authentic and expressive? To figure out the answer, we need to figure out which school of thought is more likely to be right. According to Halacha, to Jewish law, should we follow Beit Hillel or should we follow Beit Shammai? The Mishnah notes, for 3 years, Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel have disagreed. One said the Halacha is in accordance with our opinion, and the other also said the Halacha is in accordance with our opinion. Ultimately, a divine voice emerged and proclaimed both these, but also those, are the word of the living God. However, the divine voice also made a distinction that the Halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Beit Hillel. So why was the Beit Hillel school of thought privileged to have the Halacha established in accordance with their opinion, if both these and those are the words of the living God? I'm going to focus on one of the two answers. The Beit Shammai school was only teaching the Beit Shammai theories, while the Beit Hillel school taught both their own teaching and the teaching of Beit Shammai. Moreover, Beit Hillel taught the very best of Beit Shammai before teaching their own theory. However, Beit Shammai never taught Beit Hillel's theories for students to even consider an alternative. More than once, Beit Hillel decided to switch their position and accept the opinion of Beit Shammai as the better one. But the students of Beit Shammai never had the opportunity to consider switching positions because the other school's position was never taught. So the halacha, the Jewish law, is in accordance with the school of Hillel, not because they were more right or because they had smarter scholars, but because Beit Hillel were better listeners. The halacha is in accordance with those who consider other opinions and with those who listen to others. Dr. Micah Goodman quoted British philosopher Gilbert Ryle, who said that to listen is to place your opinions at risk. Dr. Goodman said the halacha is with the practice of those who are not locked in their own practice. The pluralism of Beit Hillel included listening to other opinions, and not just from Jewish people, but from any people. There is a well-known rabbinic phrase, Mikol melamdai iskalti, I have gained knowledge from everyone who instilled wisdom in me. Beit Shammai was not listening to other opinions, and so they closed their gates to the wisdom of the outside world. This made Beit Shammai narrow-minded and less attentive to the voices in the community, including to his well-respected competition. So, should we suppress our authenticity and expression as Beit Shammai suggested, or should we express our authentic selves as Beit Hillel suggested as the best way to please God? You may say that on its surface, some Orthodox circles may seem more like a Beit Shammai practice, and liberal circles more like a Beit Hillel practice. I think that in both Orthodox and liberal circles, as well as in each and every one of us, there is a little bit of both, an open-minded Beit Hillel and a stubborn Beit Shammai, but of course with varying degrees. Sometimes we choose to listen to other opinions, and other times we don't. What is important, what is really important, is the tension itself. This tension between the two schools of thought, which spread over many centuries, is what kept Judaism alive all these years. This tension allows a discourse of opinions to exist. This tension is what maintains Judaism today and what will sustain Judaism in the future. Our ability to maintain tradition, but also to be receptive to new ideas and modernity. This tension is Judaism's core ingredient to its continuing growth. After all, Elu ve'elu, divrei Elohim chaim הם, these, but also those are the words of the living God. I wish you Gmar Chatima Tova. May we be sealed for another year of good health, success, and happiness, along with a continued healthy tension of conversation and respect between each other, a tension that leads to a continued spiritual and communal growth. And let us say, turn to page 233 and we'll rise as the ark is open. And for the opening ark, I would like to invite Kathy and Paul Koch. Page 233. And please join me responsively. Hear our voice, Adonai our God, be kind and have compassion for us, willingly and lovingly accept our prayer. Do not cast us away from you, take not your holy presence from us. Hear our voice.
וקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון את השיבנו אדוני אליך, השיבנו אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו, ימינו כקדם. תשליכנו וקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון את
You may be seated. We turn to the next page, page 234, and we read together at the top of the page. Our God and God of our ancestors, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement, for we are your people and you are our God. We are your children and you are our parent. We are your servants and you are our master. We are your congregation and you are our portion. We are your heritage and you are our destiny. We are your flock and you are our shepherd. We are your vineyard and you are our guardian. We are your creatures and you are our creator. We are your spouse and you are our beloved. We are your cherished ones and you are near to us. We are your people and you are our sovereign. We are the ones you address and you are the one to whom we speak. To read for us this beautiful poem, Birth is a Beginning and Death a Destination, in the bottom of page 241.
Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey. From childhood to maturity, and youth to age, from innocence to awareness, and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom. From weakness to strength, or strength to weakness, and often back again. From health to sickness, and back, we pray, to health again. From offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until, looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, and life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage.
Thank you, Andrew. And now I'd like to call Leo and Faina Gruman to open the ark for us as we continue with Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, on page 243. Please rise. Please join me responsively. Avinu Malkeinu, we have seen in your presence. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us kindly in accord with your name. Avinu Malkeinu, annul every harsh decree against us. Avinu Malkeinu, frustrate the plotting of our enemies. Avinu Malkeinu, rid your covenanted people of disease, war, hunger, captivity, and destruction. Avinu Malkeinu, do not look toward us, toward our sin and transgressions, blot them out. Avinu Malkeinu, send complete healing to the sick among your people. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for good in the book of life. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of sustenance. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of forgiveness. Avinu Malkeinu, cause our salvation to flourish soon. Avinu Malkeinu, raise up your anointed with strength. Avinu Malkeinu, accept our prayer willingly and lovingly. Avinu Malkeinu, remember that we are but dust. Avinu Malkeinu, do this for the sake of those who were martyred for your holy name. Avinu Malkeinu, do this for the sake of those who went through fire and water to sanctify your holy name. We read together the last two lines. Avinu Malkeinu, have mercy on us, answer us, for our deeds are insufficient. Deal with us charitably and lovingly, and redeem us.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki en banu ma'asi. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed.
Thank you, Leo and Faina. You may be seated. And now it is a privilege and honor to invite our founding President Mark Friedman for what's known as the traditional Kol Nidrei President speech. Shama.
Thanks. Congregation Ahavat Olam is not only a reality, it's a congregation that the entire Jewish community is buzzing about. Truth be told, since Rabbi Idan's birthday in September of 2021, he's faced a mountain of challenges, and he's remained a true professional through it all. He's risen to the challenge. He's conquered mountains and many thought were insurmountable. He faced criticism, backlash, backtalk, and slurs, but he ignored the noise and focused on the goal. Today, Congregation Ahavat Olam, just a couple months old, is more than an idea. It's a full-fledged temple community with 100+ families as members. Yes, 100+ families. When we started this, we thought maybe we'd have 40. We've grown in just 1 month from a small shul status as measured by the national Jewish community to one 90 days later that's now regarded as a mid-sized shul. Wow. Rabbi Idan has worked tirelessly over the past couple months, reaching out to you, to our community partners, to other spiritual leaders to share his vision of one Judaism. And today, you may see him as a spiritual leader from the pulpit, but our board has seen him as a handyman, an AV tech, a writer, a father, a speaker, a husband, and most of all, a mensch. Rabbi Idan is the greatest advocate for our mission of one Judaism, and our board is 100% behind that objective. As I've said before, it doesn't matter here at Congregation Ahavat Olam what hat you wear, what flag you fly, who you marry, how you celebrate holidays, what you wear, or even the extent to which you know the prayers, traditions, or rituals of our heritage. The fact that you are Jewish, yes, just Jewish, or someone who chooses to support someone who's Jewish, or even someone who embraces the spirit of Judaism, all of you should feel welcome here. At Congregation Ahavat Olam, there is no such thing as being more Jewish or less Jewish than someone else. We're just Jewish. Your presence, your support, and your affiliation to our community is enough. Each of us possess a unique collection of skill sets, be it creative, managerial, occupational, financial, influential, or industrial. Our community can and will be successful through our collective collaborative skills. This is an opportunity for all of us, to leverage our skills and really make a difference. Today, I feel a sense of peace unlike I've ever felt before. When we embarked on this journey without any idea where we'd open our show, Rabbi Idan reminded us that historically, a temple's success was never built on the beauty of its four walls, but instead success comes from the community that committed to living a shared vision. And as I look around, I feel like each and every one of you are part of this extended family. I want to listen to every perspective you have to offer. Your voice is essential, and it will not be ignored. While we may not always agree, we know that your perspective is not being ignored. We are navigating this new journey, and we know that roadblocks, detours, bumps, and more will continue to try to slow us down. I'm committed to making sure that we're here to learn and grow together and not build walls between us. Our mission is to mature collectively and not divide ourselves through social stratification. In early July, Stephen Rosenberg, editor of the Jewish Journal, interviewed us for a cover story. He wanted to know how in our right mind would we even consider opening a new temple when so many temples around us were struggling to stay open. I remember telling him that I felt that many temples had begun losing their way. I had seen firsthand examples of temples infusing perspectives and biases that were making segments of their members feel uncomfortable. In doing so, I would hear Jews from numerous shuls tell me that they felt a sense of Jewish guilt when they walked through the doors of their own shul. They would wonder, am I being judged by my peers or the Jewishness of my existence? Was I being too Jewish or not Jewish enough? You know, a few years ago, while attending Yom Kippur services at a temple in Peabody with my family, the rabbi there delivered a sermon that, believe it or not, talked about what it meant to be a good Jew. Kind of an interesting topic on the Day of Atonement, I thought. While I was uncomfortable with the reference he was making, my daughter Mindy, who was 15 at the time, turned to me and said, "Daddy, why is he talking about good Jews and bad Jews? Aren't we all just Jewish?" And that's when it hit me. No one should judge our Jewishness. But instead, each of us need to feel comfortable with the simple fact that we are all a collective part of a Jewish heritage, a religion that has endured time and time again through hatred, persecution, and anti-Semitism. It made me begin to realize that my level of Jewishness isn't what should be criticized, but instead all of us should be rejoicing and celebrating the existence of our Jewish heritage over the past 5,783 years. In the Unetana Tokef, we recite, at the end of the Unetana Tokef, we recite 3 prayers. We talk of Teshuvah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah. Through Teshuvah, we hold a mirror to ourselves as mature individuals. We accept criticism and recognize that we can be contributors to our own problems. It's only then that we can participate in active, respectful, and inclusive dialogue. Through Tefillah, we commit to bringing fresh insight into our lives and to reaffirm our religious commitments through prayers and spiritual reflection. And through Tzedakah, we commit to treating each other with care and respect, and in that regard, provide support to the needy. The best evidence of that is through our recent relationship with Congregation Anshe Shalom in Lawrence. As many of you know, this temple has a 100-year legacy. It was the go-to shul for Jewish immigrants in the Lawrence community in the 1900s and beyond. Pictures show close to 100 people packing into the shul every Friday for Shabbat. Others shows Jews standing outside the windows to hear the shofar blow. This beautiful synagogue on Hampshire Street was a sanctuary to Jewish families who came to America for a better life. It became home to magnificent, handcrafted Jewish artifacts and the respite for generations of Jews who grew up in the Merrimack Valley. Sadly, though, as Jews migrated to other communities, the membership at the shul began to shrink. Yet the vibrance, history, and legacy remained on the walls, in the pews, and within the walls of this magnificent sanctuary. You know, tonight, as we gather here, 200 of us as a community, the very few remaining members in Lawrence are huddled closely at their temple up the street, knowing that tonight will be their last Kol Nidrei. At Congregation Ahavat Olam, we've committed to ensuring that that's not the end of their story. After our temple launched in July of 2022, the first order of business was to hire a rabbi. That day, Idan Irelander was unanimously voted in as our founding rabbi. As honored as he was to accept the challenge, he knew that one of his first orders of business was to obtain a Torah, an ark, a reading table for the pulpit, and more. The board gave him the okay to go to the Israeli bookstore and buy what you need. Go to Amazon if you have to. Go to Google. But he wanted to work a little harder to see if he could do better. He reached out to area shuls, telling him his story and his vision to start a new temple. Perhaps it was through this sheer mysticism, probably some really good timing, that Rabbi Idan contacted the shul in Lawrence and talked with their president, Freda Kaufman. He had known their membership was struggling, that they were facing potential closing. He delicately approached them with an opportunity for their legacy to endure. The whole story is left better for another day, as I know I'm taking a lot of time here. But suffice it to say that the collective conversation among members of the Anshe Shalom community and Rabbi Idan and a few members of our board was perhaps divine intervention. As we head into the months ahead, the bulk of ritual items, artifacts, and furniture will make their way to the shul at 1600. The items too large to fit into our shul will be stored for future use. The Yortzeit walls, with the names of parents, grandparents, children, and relatives, will perpetuate on the walls of our shul at the shul at 1600. Our commitment to Ansei Shalom is that their legacy will endure as founding members of our temple. Their history, their legacy, and the stories of our Jewish community will never be forgotten. And over the past few months, I've learned that creating a new temple, essentially from dust, isn't easy. But so too is perpetuating, remembering, and honoring our history. At Congregation Ahavat Olam, we are committed to finding a balance that honors our heritage while embracing our future. That's what builds a community rather than fracturing one. As president of Congregation Ahavat Olam, I am ready and willing to stand at the helm to ensure Rabbi Idan, our board, our members, and all those who support us celebrate our vision. Like you, every day I walk into our shul, whether it's at 1600 Osgood Street or at this beautiful chapel right here on Academy Road. I feel like I've come home. Perhaps, and I don't know if Andrea's here, perhaps it's Andrea O'Brien, a new member of our shul. Well, you're all new members of our shul. who put it so eloquently in an email to me following Rosh Hashanah services. She wrote, Mark, Rosh Hashanah was a beautiful event, and I thank you for making me feel so welcome. I'm so grateful to be part of this congregation. Services have been beyond inspirational and moving, and you've created a warm and welcoming environment that's simply contagious. When walking into the church, the chapel here, by myself on Rosh Hashanah, a couple that I didn't even know invited me to sit with them. In my 35 plus years at my former temple, no one ever did that. Your welcoming smile is contagious, and I thank you for that. I look forward to getting to know this community better. Thank you, Andrea, for your kind words. I can tell you as I look around this congregation, and this collective group shares your sentiment. Rabbi Idan, sorry I doubted you that morning at Panera. I really am. Sorry. It's the Day of Atonement, right?
Should have talked to someone else.
because what you helped to create is absolutely spectacular. It really, really is. Congregation Ahavat Olam is truly built with everlasting love. I'm honored to be on this journey with all of you, and on behalf of the entire congregation, both whom are either here in person or watching somewhere on Zoom, hi everybody, we want to say thank you to you, Idan. Tov Ma'od. That's about the extent of my Hebrew. We're all excited about the journey that's yet to come, and wow, what a wonderful start we've had in just a few months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Tov מאוד, מצוין. I'm going to ask you to write my sermons now. Go for it.
So Don also asked me to do announcements. I hope you'll bear with me. I know I took a lot of time, but I didn't know what to cut. I just wanted to tell you the story, and there's so much more to this great story. There will be, though, no announcements to hear from me or anybody tomorrow. So I hope you can put up with my thank yous here that I have to extend out here. First, thank you to Idan for creating this amazing Kol Nidrei service. You're going to love what we have in store for you tomorrow. Thank you to Yael Rubinstein. What an amazing job on the cello. Thank you, Ron. Oh my God, it's just wonderful. I don't know how you can play that long. Did you even have music in front of you? Or did you just know it by heart?
I know it by heart.
She knows it by heart. Isn't that just, with all that feeling too. There's playing the cello, and then there's playing the cello. You nailed it. Thank you to Tutti, our soloist, to Druyan, our pianist, to Amir Milstein, our flautist. Also, thank you in advance to Julia Spiegelman, who will play her clarinet tomorrow, and to Beth Bahaya Cohen for playing the violin. Both will be playing at Neila. Thank you to our choir, Shirley Fountain, David Traugot, Traugot. Thank you. Eliomar, Nascimento, I'm going to screw all these names up. Nancy Armstrong and Kamal, Soparkar?
Yeah,
Kamal. All right, I'm trying. Thank you to Trude Bloom for your wonderful shofar blowing, which I don't think we're doing that tonight? Tomorrow. No, tomorrow. All right, I'm losing my tallest too. Thank you to Corey. Wonderful rendition of your solo. Thanks to all of our readers and those that had honors today. Laura, Ilana, and Mindy Friedman, Kathy and Paul Koch, Andrew Chabin, Leo and Faina Gruman, and to all of those that will have honors tomorrow, Max Saberid, Marcella Lemberger, Abby Remus, Elaine and David Wiener, Jocelyn Barton, Yana and David Barton, Eric Browdy and Judy Browdy, Max Chabin and Alex Chabin. Backside here. Caroline Postal and Bill Postal, Matt and Cindy Remus, Cindy and Dana Cohen, Jamie and Tracy Mariani, Sari and Marty Lafferty, and Karen Souza. And for Minka, we've got Ellen and Mark Mosier, Susan Yavner and Mark Graubart, Brad and Lois Seidman, and Cindy and Larry Chapper. I think I got everybody. Thanks to our audiovisual producer, Steve Vale. Thank you, Steve, up top. Thank you to the North Andover Police for keeping us safe. Thank you to North Parish Unitarian Church, to the Move crew, and also thanks, I know they're watching on Zoom, thanks to Estelle and Jack Heyman. Those choir robes, Jack sent us a note right after Rosh Hashanah, and he said, Estelle and I want to donate choir robes. And thanks to the magic of Amazon, boom, they showed up, and there they are. Is Steve up there? What? I mentioned Steve.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I mention Steve? Yeah. Okay, good.
So twice. He
All right,
deserves
twice for you, Steve. So tomorrow, services resume at 10 a.m., both on Zoom here at the chapel. Children's service at 3 o'clock. Services will not be on Zoom. Beginning at 4 p.m., everyone else, yes, even those watching on Zoom, come join us. Come on down. We got plenty of room for you. We want to welcome you here for our healing service, for Mincha, Mariv, all of that. It's going to be great. You're going to love this. And Shabbat services will follow on Friday, 7 p.m. at the Shul. And then one final thing before I get out of here, and I know you're probably sick of seeing me up here. On Saturday, October 8th, this upcoming Saturday, at 10:30, we've got to move all of this stuff back to the Shul at 1600. You'll see a note on Friday as well. If you can help us show up here at 10:30, we did it with about 12 people. It moved over in 30 minutes. We got it all done. If you can make it, that'd be wonderful. You'll hear more about that in our newsletter. And finally, before I turn the mic back over to Rabbi, I want to let you know of our plans to host a special congregational gathering on Sunday, November 13th at noon. With the high holidays behind us and a membership of more than 100 families, I want all of us to gather comfortably so that we can hear and learn from one another about what makes for a great temple. Through you, our members, we'll craft our priorities of commitments, programs, and so much more. While we can't do everything in our first year, I've always felt that the voices of our community should serve as an integral part in the charting of our temple. I hope you'll really enjoy what I call a knowledge cafe and a brainstorming session. Please watch your newsletter for more information. On behalf of my entire family, finally. Laura, Mindy, Ilana, Jerry, Noah, Corey, I think I got them all, and the entire board of directors of Congregation Ahavat Olam, I want to wish you all an easy fast. Geez, if I keep talking, you could just spend the night here. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you all. Back to you, Don.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you for inspiring traditional president speech on Kol Nidrei.
I'll keep it shorter next time, I promise.
Please rise for Aleinu, page 246. No. עלינו לשבח לדור הכל, לתת גדולה יוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כדברי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות
Amen.
remain standing for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 247. And we recite together as one family the sacred words of the Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש ששמי רבה, בעלמא דברך ירוטה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהא שמך רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, ליעלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who brings harmony on high bring harmony to us and to all Israel and to all who dwell on earth, and let us say amen. You may be seated. We almost concluded the service. We turn now to the Igdal on page 250. Igdal is the summary of Maimonides' 13 articles of faith. Igdal. For a special benediction. We pray our God and God of all generations, bless us with the threefold benediction of the Torah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Amen. Yael Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow favor upon you and give you peace. L'shana tova tichatemu. May we all be sealed for a good and a healthy year. Gmar chatima tova. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.